Ever eaten a slice of bread and felt like your stomach declared war on you? Like one minute you're living your best life, and the next your gut is staging a full-scale protest. Or maybe you had a cookie, and instead of feeling happy and satisfied, you suddenly felt like you needed a 3-hour nap. Like someone hit your energy switch to off. Could it be gluten? Could it be something else? Or is your body just being a drama queen? Today, we're diving into the signs that might mean you have a gluten allergy. By the way, it's technically a wheat allergy, without the boring textbook explanations. Because let's be real, if you're here, you don't want a science lecture. You just want answers. Real answers. Like, is there a way to tell if gluten is actually the problem? Or are we all just blaming bread for things it didn't do? And if gluten is messing with you, how do you even begin to figure that out without just giving up all the good stuff? Let's break it down. First things first, what even is gluten? Is it some evil mastermind hiding in your food, plotting your downfall? Not exactly. Gluten is just a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye. It's what makes bread stretchy, pizza dough chewy, and croissants perfectly flaky. Basically, gluten is the reason your favorite carbs taste amazing. Without it, bread would be dry and crumbly, pasta would fall apart at the slightest touch, and cakes would feel more like a brick. But if your body isn't a fan of gluten, it might start reacting in ways that range from mildly annoying to full-blown misery. Some people get bloated like they just swallowed a balloon, except instead of floating away, they just feel uncomfortably full and like they need a nap. Others end up in a bathroom sprint that could win gold at the Olympics. Trust me, not the fun kind of race. Some get these random, sharp stomach pains that hit so suddenly, you'll swear you've been ambushed by a rogue pasta noodle. And then there's the sneaky stuff, fatigue that makes you feel like you just ran a marathon in your sleep, brain fog so thick you forget your own name, headaches that show up without warning, or even mood swings that turn you into a grumpy gremlin who needs a nap and a snack. But here's the thing, aren't those symptoms of like a million other things? Stress, maybe. Bad night's sleep. That extra large pizza you devoured on your own? So, how do you figure out if gluten is the culprit behind your discomfort? Well, it's not as easy as just saying, I ate bread and now I feel terrible. If only it were that simple, right? The truth is, it's all about connecting the dots and paying attention to when those symptoms pop up. Is it after that glorious bowl of spaghetti you scarfed down for dinner? Or maybe after you had a sandwich that was just a little too satisfying at lunch? If you've been keeping track, you'll start seeing the patterns. And this isn't some, oh, I ate a donut once and felt bad situation. You've got to be consistent here. We're talking weeks of data, not days. Try tracking everything you eat for a couple of weeks. Yes, you heard that correctly. 2 weeks of writing down every bite of bread, pasta, and pizza you consume. Don't skip the pastries either. Don't forget to include the smaller stuff, like the crackers at that meeting, or that sneaky muffin you grabbed on the go. And if you're like, who has time for that? Don't worry. There are apps for that, and many of them are free. You just log your food, and boom, you'll start to see patterns. When you notice those stomach pains or bloating kicking in, jot that down too. It's kind of like being your own detective, but instead of solving a crime, you're solving the mystery of why your stomach is being a drama queen. But here's the catch, just because you've noticed a few symptoms after your beloved pasta night doesn't mean it's time to throw it in the trash bin, alongside your bread. It could be something else, and gluten might just be one suspect in a long list of potential culprits. You're not done yet. If you're serious about figuring this out, your doctor or a dietitian might recommend testing to check for gluten-related issues, like celiac disease or non-celiac gluten sensitivity. But, and this is key, those tests only work if you're eating gluten regularly. Why? Because your body needs to be in gluten mode for the test to pick up on any problems. If you've been avoiding gluten for weeks or months, your test could miss the signs of a gluten issue. So, what do you do if you've already cut gluten out? First, hold off on any testing until you've gone back to eating it regularly for a while, like a few weeks. Yes, that means you might have to face your gluten-filled nemesis for a little while longer before getting the answers you need. But hey, it's all part of the process. While you're waiting for testing to be accurate, keep doing your detective work. Continue tracking everything you eat and how it makes you feel. If you're feeling bloated after pasta one day, but fine after a salad the next, write it down. If your energy levels are tanking after your morning bagel, but picking up after a gluten-free lunch, make note of that too. And let's not forget, how's your mood? Are you less grumpy or more focused after reducing gluten? If you've been in a constant fog, does it clear up when you stop eating it? This is all helpful information for when you talk to your doctor. So, now you've done the testing, the journaling, the detective work. You've basically become Sherlock Holmes with a PhD in gluten. But what happens when you finally get the results from your doctor? If they tell you you've got celiac disease, brace yourself. It's a lifelong commitment to staying 100% gluten-free. And no, that doesn't mean I can have a little gluten here and there, right? No, not even a crumb. Think of it like being in a committed relationship with food. You're either all in or you're not. No side dishes, no flirtations. It's not the most fun diagnosis, but hey, at least you've got a clear answer. Time to make some real changes. But let's say you don't have celiac disease. You might be dealing with non-celiac gluten sensitivity, NCGS. Now here's where things get a bit tricky. There's no simple blood test or biopsy for this one. Your doctor won't be handing you a fancy gluten sensitivity certificate. Instead, they'll probably take the Sherlock approach, process of elimination. They'll rule out other conditions and then see if your symptoms get better after you kick gluten to the curb. It's like the gluten version of The Bachelor. You don't know for sure who's staying, but you'll find out by the end of the season. Some people feel better in a couple of weeks, others take months. It's a bit of a waiting game, but with some patience, you'll figure it out. Now here's the good news. If you don't have celiac disease, you don't need to completely wave goodbye to gluten forever. For many with NCGS, you might not need to ditch it all, you just need to cut back. It's like saying, hey, gluten, I'm going to need a little space for now. You might still be able to keep a moderate gluten intake and feel just fine. It's like dating. You don't have to completely ghost gluten, but maybe no more nightly texts. But hold up, before you go replacing all your gluten-filled food with gluten-free alternatives, let's talk about this. Gluten-free doesn't always equal healthy. I know it's a big shocker. Some gluten-free foods are packed with extra sugar, preservatives, and who knows what else. It's like putting a healthy disguise on a snack that's really not fooling anyone. So remember, focus on a balanced diet, fruits, veggies, lean proteins, healthy fats. Think of your body like a sports car. You wouldn't put cheap gas in it, would you? Okay, so now you've cut out gluten. You're feeling pretty good. Your stomach's not staging protests anymore, your energy's back, and that brain fog has lifted like a foggy morning in a cozy rom-com. You're living your best gluten-free life. And guess what? It's not as bad as you thought. You're actually enjoying the food and feeling proud of yourself. But, and we get it, there's a big question lingering. Is this forever? Do I have to bid farewell to my pizza? Forever? Here's the truth. If you've got celiac disease, yes, you'll need to say goodbye to regular pizza, pasta, and cupcakes. Cue the violin. But don't worry, you can still enjoy the gluten-free versions. Gluten-free pizza dough, pasta, bread, and pastries are all on the menu, and they can be just as delicious as the gluten-filled kind. Now, for those of you with non-celiac gluten sensitivity, the rules are a little more relaxed. You might be able to go gluten-free most of the time and then indulge in your favorite gluten-y treats now and then without triggering a full-blown revolt in your system. It's all about balance. Think of gluten like that one friend who's a little too much to handle every day, but when they're around occasionally, they're fun. So you're asking, how do I know for sure if I've got this gluten sensitivity thing down? For sure, there's no magic formula. But with patience, trial and error, and maybe some gluten-free cupcakes along the way, you'll eventually figure it out. You'll reach that sweet spot where your body says, yep, I'm happy now, and you'll know it's working. If you've tried all of this and you still can't figure it out, or if your symptoms are starting to feel a little too serious, don't wait around to get answers. Reach out to a healthcare professional. A gastroenterologist is a great first step. They specialize in digestive issues and can help get to the bottom of things, whether it's gluten-related or something else entirely. So don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. We've got a lot more videos coming your way. And now we want to hear from you. Have you ever wondered if you had a gluten sensitivity? Or maybe you've made the leap to a gluten-free life. How's it going for you? Drop your stories in the comments below. And here's some information you probably didn't know you needed. Check out this video right here.